All right, today we're going to be talking about the number one question we get when people call up to the shop. They be saying, look, man, how I'm going to charge on these here pressure washing jobs? They all confused about it. They don't know where to think. So did what I tell them I do. You know, for me, when I go out and do a job, I price that job. I show up, roll up, you know, for like that house right there. I'm going to tell them, look, man, first thing I'm going to do is look at it. That first thing you got to do. But then I'm going to tell them it's going to be like, you know, $450, about $450 to wash that house up, get that mold and that mirror off, and then, you know what I'm saying, wrench that back off. Now, how I come up with that number is, I know I got to pay my baby mama $300 come Friday. And I also know I'm trying to go down there to Shoulder to the racetrack, and I'm going to put $100 on that dog down there. But, you know, I also got to have a little bit of gas money. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden got that gas, whoo, that gas on up there. So I need about 50 for that, too. So that's where I come up with that number, that 450. I get my calculator out. You know, I add that up, you know that? And I get that 450 number right there, and I just hit them with that 450. Now, sometimes they may not go all the way that. They may want to do 400. So that means I only put 50 on the dog at the racetrack. Oh, I keep 50 from the baby mama. She don't need that money, no way. Anyway, so that's where we come up with the prices. You know, it's a lot go into it and figuring that out. So I hope that helped. You guys have a good day. All right, I'm being silly. And if you guys don't know who I'm playing off of there, his name is Alex Morrison. I just stumbled across him the other day on YouTube. He's just a comedian, and he is so funny. He's got this little character he does where he's talking like that, like a Cajun Louisiana guy or something. It's really funny. But anyway, I've kind of got on a kick watching him. My beard is all scraggly this morning. In all seriousness, that is the number one question that we get asked here at Southeast Softwash. We get that question on Fridays from the guys picking up equipment, and we also just get a ton of call-ins, even old customers that have had their rig, you know, and it always surprises me. They're in like year 2, and they still have no idea what to charge. So in the world of pressure washing, I know it would be easy for us. We've been doing it for 20-something years to just say, hey, here's your number. But we'd actually be doing you guys a really big disservice. You need to get your number. And what a lot of folks want is a square foot model because it just makes for super easy math. The problem with that is, how are you coming up with what that square foot number is? Here is I'm gonna give you the ultimate mind hack, okay? Here's how you know what your pricing is. Number one, you gotta know what your overhead is. If you're lean and mean, like Aaron, my boy over here at Lean and Mean Academy, talks about all the time, you don't have much overhead, therefore you can charge a little cheaper, and maybe you should charge a little cheaper in the early days to get some market share, to get your foot in the door in your area. So you gotta know what your overhead and what your cost of doing business is. That is a factor. You've also got number two, you got to know what your competition, if any, is doing in your area, because that's going to keep you sort of in a box. Now, you don't have to. You can stray outside of that, but if you do have several established washing companies, it's just like anything else. You can't be 4X what they are, right, and offer the same service. You'll get jobs, but you're not going to get very many jobs because they're going to get a lot of your market share. So you got to know your cost, your overhead, and then kind of who you want to be. I always use this example. Do you want to be Timex or Rolex? Nothing wrong with either one. They both are very profitable companies. They both got lots of money, right? So there's no wrong way to be. You just got to figure out do you want to be more of the bougie clientele and you're going to the country clubs and the lake homes, or do you want to do the middle class suburb houses all day? And either one is fine. You got to sort of figure that out. Here's how you dial in your number. You run your business your first year, and you should kind of know what a ballpark roundabout house wash, roundabout driveway, rough roof cleaning number is. You got an idea. You got a starting point. Throw that number out there and then add 20% to that number. And what we're doing is we're running an experiment sort of in our first season in business, and we're going to see what our close ratio is and how much money we're making. And we're always going to, I would say, semi-annually ease that price up a little bit over time. Now, it may take you about a year to do this experiment, and that's okay, because your first year in business, you're learning anyway. So you're easing that number up constantly until you hit the ceiling. What I mean by hit the ceiling is you start losing jobs to a close ratio that you're not comfortable with anymore, and you back off a little bit, right? And I may bump it up again. I may make sure that was not an anomaly, And once I've established that, okay, that's what I can charge in this area, and that number even changes because the economy changes. Things change in local areas, right? If you're, let's say you're stationed near a big Army base, and that Army base shuts down, that's pretty rare, but let's just use it as an example, then you're gonna have to adjust your prices or expand your range of service so you're driving a little further. But all these things come into play. Once you figure out what that number is, that, let's say, the average house wash number, then you can do some backwards math and get your square foot pricing. But the key there is it's your square foot pricing. So if you got a guy in Alaska, a guy in Nevada, a guy in Ohio, a guy in Florida, and a guy in Connecticut, they're going to have tremendously different numbers because all those parameters are different. So get your pricing, make sure you're running your numbers. Don't take the easy way out and say, well, I Googled it and the national average says this, because you're probably undercutting yourself a lot, or in a few cases, you're going to be way over in some markets. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. We're going to get in here and knock out some mini skids. Look, we do have some mini skids available for immediate pickup. Got 2 of those on hand. If you guys want to grab a Mini Pro, it's a ready to go unit. Give us a call. Be some links down in the description. See you later. Whoosh.